People around the world battle addiction in one form or another. Drugs and alcohol are the main offenders, but officials in South Korea have added a new category to the list of vices: online games. Lawmakers say compulsive gamers are becoming a social problem, especially among the young. They're proposing some tough new regulations to combat what they say is a national health issue. But as Anna Jung reports from Seoul, the regulators have a fight on their hands.
A visit to any internet cafe in Seoul reveals a national passion. No web surfing, no emailing. Everyone here is playing online games. Online games are played on computers or smartphones connected to the internet. Popular genres include real-time adventure or strategy games. They often involve role-playing and multiple players.
I like competing with other players. It gives me real satisfaction and joy. But when I get too immersed, I find myself staying up all night playing games.
It's an obsession shared by many other South Koreans. 15 million are believed to play online games on a regular basis, close to 1/3 of the population. An industry survey found the average gamer plays at least 2 hours a day on weekdays and nearly 3 hours on weekends. But it's not all fun and games. Some people don't know when to stop. Gaming addiction is being blamed for health and psychological problems. Compulsive gamers are known to give up sleep and eating to pursue their habit. Relationships and schoolwork also suffer. Some extreme cases have captured headlines in recent years. In 2010, a 15-year-old boy killed his mother at their home in Busan before hanging himself. They were said to have argued about the boy playing games late into the night. In October this year, another 15-year-old boy was arrested for setting fire to an apartment. He said he was upset about losing a game on the internet. Lawmakers recently proposed tightening regulation of online games. 17 members of parliament submitted a bill that points the finger squarely at gaming developers. The bill says companies are boosting profits by intentionally producing games that lead to addictive behavior. Shin Ijin is one of the lawmakers targeting developers. She's a psychiatrist known for her work with children.
Boys especially are addicted to internet games. It leaves them completely drained and they stop going to school. There aren't many experts who can provide treatment. Parents don't know who to turn to, so they don't take them to hospital until the situation becomes serious. The government has to provide systematic measures to prevent the problems.
The bill sets out new rules for officials and businesses. Internet service providers will be required to set time limits on their games. Authorities will have the power to ban production and distribution of any game they deem to be highly addictive. But the effort to tighten regulations has provoked a strong backlash from the games industry. South Korea's game-related exports reached $2.6 billion last year, a rise of 11% from the year before. That accounts for more than half of overseas content sales. And 90% of this revenue involved online games. This Internet Contents Association represents 95 online gaming companies. The group has shown their opposition to the bill by posting a mock obituary on their homepage. It is also asking the public to sign a petition opposing the restrictions. Some 300,000 people have added their names.
Our association is against the bill because it uses the term addiction. There is no medical justification for using this terminology. We'll do everything we can to keep fighting until the bill is withdrawn.
The industry has reason to fear more regulation. In 2011, the government imposed a so-called shutdown law, basically a curfew for young gamers. All users of online games are required to register their identification numbers issued by the government. At midnight, the game of any player under the age of 16 shuts down automatically. They can't log on again until 6 a.m. the next morning. The shutdown law hurts the revenue model of online game companies. Players spend money as they advance through a game, buying tools, weapons, and other virtual products. Less time online means smaller profits. The number of game developers is reported to have declined by 16% after the curfew was introduced. And while the shutdown law has taken a toll on the gaming industry, it failed to eliminate the addiction problem. Many youngsters stay online by using adult IDs. The government operates an addiction consultation office to help tackle the problem. A researcher at the consultation office says more adults are now seeking help for internet addictions.
In the past, about 8 out of 10 people addicted to games were juveniles, but this has now dropped to 6 out of 10, as the ratio of adults affected by this condition has grown. Since last year, we're also seeing more and more people coming to the center, complaining about addiction to smartphones as well as internet games. But I suspect the number of latent cases of addiction is much greater.
Ruling party lawmakers say the only way to stop game addiction is more regulation. But the bill they submitted to Parliament has been met with strong opposition. Both sides in this debate say the stakes are high. To end the stalemate, officials will need to find a strategy that can boost the gaming industry while also protecting the health of its people. Anna Jung reporting from Seoul.